This is Daily Armenia, ＳivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. Former Armenian President Robert Kocharyan strongly advocated for the continued existence of the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe's Minsk Group during a press conference held today in Yerevan. If the Minsk Group is dissolved now, it will be extremely difficult to establish a similar international format in the future, Kocharyan said, calling the idea foolish. The Minsk Group, co-chaired by Russia, the US, and France, is a negotiation format that has been central to efforts to resolve the Nagorno-Karabakh conflict since 1992. However, after Azerbaijan's victory in the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war, its president Ilham Aliyev has repeatedly called for its dissolution, even naming it a precondition for signing a normalization deal. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan subsequently suggested Armenia may be willing to join Azerbaijan in appealing to the OSCE to disband the group. Kocharyan stressed that while peace between Armenia and Azerbaijan remains a theoretical possibility, he is skeptical of the current negotiations' ability to bring about lasting peace. He criticized Armenia's direct engagement with Azerbaijan without international mediation, which he believes undermines the potential for a solid normalization agreement. Negotiations are needed, signed agreements are needed, and guarantors are needed, he said, noting that without credible guarantors, the risk of conflict remains high. At the Munich Security Conference this past weekend, Pashinyan met with German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, European Council President Antonio Costa, and the OSCE's Secretary General Feridun Sinirlioğlu to discuss regional security and Armenia's bilateral ties. Pashinyan and Scholz focused on strengthening cooperation between Armenia and Germany, particularly in trade and economic relations. Germany is one of Armenia's biggest trading partners, and both leaders highlighted the importance of further expanding economic ties. They also discussed the negotiations between Armenia and Azerbaijan, with Pashinyan providing updates on recent developments. Scholz reaffirmed Germany's support for Armenia's democratic reforms and efforts toward regional stability. Though Pashinyan also met with European Council President Antonio Costa, the European Union's top official, the Armenian government's readout of the meeting did not make any reference to its potential bid to join the EU. In the meeting with Sinirlioğlu, a representative of Turkey, discussions centered on the current state and future prospects of cooperation between Armenia and the OSCE. Sinirlioğlu outlined the organization's priorities and upcoming programs, with both parties addressing issues of regional significance. The normalization process between Armenia and Azerbaijan was highlighted as crucial for ensuring regional stability, with Sinirlioğlu reiterating the organization's readiness to support peace-building efforts. At the conference, Sinirlioğlu also met with Azerbaijani Foreign Minister Ceyhun Bayramov, who yet again claimed that Armenia's constitution poses obstacles to normalizing relations with Yerevan. Later on Sunday, Pashinyan also met with representatives of Germany's Armenian community, discussing reforms and Armenia's relations both with other countries and its diaspora worldwide. Also in Munich, Armenia's Defense Minister Suren Babikyan and the country's Chief of the General Staff, Erod Asiryan, participated in meetings with their international counterparts at the conference, including those of the Netherlands, Sweden, Germany, and the United States. Azerbaijani authorities have accused philanthropist Ruben Vardanyan, who briefly served as state minister of Nagorno-Karabakh, of orchestrating a plot against Azerbaijani diplomats abroad. According to an article published Friday by Radio Azaduchun, RFERL's Armenian service, the charges claim Vardanyan financed and supported plans for attacks, though his representatives strongly deny the claims. The Azerbaijani authorities have dubbed the alleged plot Nemesis 2, a reference to the original Operation Nemesis, which was orchestrated by the ARF Dashnakshchun in the years following the Armenian genocide to bring its perpetrators to justice. Vardanyan has been detained by Azerbaijan since late September 2023, following the severely blockaded Nagorno-Karabakh's surrender after coming under attack by the Azerbaijani military. Azerbaijani officials allege he used his resources to fund military activities in the region and directed money from his Aurora Humanitarian Foundation toward armed groups. Vardanyan's advisor Mesrop Arakelian dismissed the accusations as baseless, calling them pure fantasy. Arakelian emphasized that Vardanyan had no involvement in military operations and was solely focused on governance and humanitarian efforts. The trial is being conducted behind closed doors, with no access granted to independent media or international observers. Rights groups and Armenian officials have raised concern over the fairness of the proceedings, warning of political motivations behind the charges. The charges against Vardanyan are so extensive that prosecutors were unable to finish reading them at Thursday's session, so the reading will continue at 1 today. Vardanyan's legal team, which is barred from entering Azerbaijan and faces numerous other obstacles in defending their client, is expected to challenge the accusations. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 882. That's the total amount of weight lifted, in pounds, by Simon Martirosyan, the heavyweight champion of last week's Armenian Men's Weightlifting Championship held in Yerevan. Martirosyan is a two-time world champion and won the silver medal at both the 2016 and 2020 Olympic Games. At the 2024 Games, the weight class was represented by Varazdat Lalayan, who also won silver. Lalayan, however, did not compete at last week's championship due to injury. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.